Hi, my name is Winslaya, and welcome to my video reacting to the announcement trailer for Eldritch Realms, the fourth expansion for Age of Wonders 4. It's coming out on June 18th, which is a little bit more than 2 weeks away. I'm super excited to play around with a lot of the new features that are coming with this DLC, but there's also going to most likely be a free update that's coming out on the same day, which is going to have a lot of very big changes. In fact, I think they showed off a few of them in the stream that they did a little bit before the announcement trailer. They showed off a couple of features in the game, as well as like some changes to the dark culture, and I think the reaver cultures is getting some things that make like the mage locks a little bit easier to use. So yeah, I'm very excited to play around with those features and the things that are focused on the Eldritch Realms, like the new layer that we got to see towards the end of the stream. In this video, we're going to go over a couple screenshots that I got from other places like Discord, as well as this video. And I think I heard that there was supposed to be something posted on the forum, a dev diary, that was supposed to cover this stuff, but I haven't seen it yet. And I just wanted to put out a video covering like this video in particular. So without further ado, let's watch it. Couldn't really see the guy at the top, could you? Needed to go up a little bit. But yeah, we've seen him in some of the other promotional material. It seems like that might be an endalion. They freed an endalion in Grexilus in one of the story realms, which then I think took over the Commonwealth guy, Edward something rather, Portsmouth I think it is. He went crazy and he attacked all of his old friends because he got infected by the Chaos Endalion. And I think this one, based on the color schemes they've used here, is probably some kind of evil dude. It would make sense, we got a lot of purples here, but I think there's a chance that this guy, he might actually be associated with other affinities because he's surrounded by lightning. He's kind of got this very shiny gold look to him, so I could see him being the gold Endalion or something, like the lightning, the astral endalion, because astral is very important to the magic world. The astral sea is kind of like where a lot of things come from. Some of the more interesting things I'm seeing right here at the very end is we got like some kind of moon or planet in the background that might have some kind of significance to the realm that we see here. It's included for a reason. I think it can't be nothing. We get to see a couple units which remind me of the Voidbringers in Age of Wonders Planetfall. These guys look a little bit like those. And in these units at the bottom, we actually got to see a little bit at the end of the stream. I forget what they're all called, but I did get a few screenshots here, which I'm not going to go over all of them in this video. I still need to organize them and make sense of everything that's here. But they did show off like this willthief, the funny spider-looking creature, as well as I think they were called like flesh something rather. I think this guy spawned them in. Can't quite see it because I'm covering it, but it's like spiderlings or something like that. Those guys are explode and they're very interesting. They remind me a lot of the Devastator Sphere, but I think they're more mobile, so they may be a little bit more easy to use. I don't believe we saw this one in the actual fights that they did towards the end of the stream, but I was starting to like get nervous about like what is my video going to be. So I was researching other things, looking into other things, and may have missed one or two of those little details. There's a lot of information that they throw at you over the course of 2 hours, with a lot of like fun things in between. So hopefully my video that I post next week will get some more of that like interesting and easy to miss information that was towards the end of the stream presented to you a little bit more quickly. So we've talked about the trailer here. We've talked about some of the neat units that they show off here and how they showed that off in the stream. What I want to do now is actually take a closer look at the other information they give us on Steam here. So if we scrolled, actually, you know what? Instead of scrolling down, let's take a quick look at some of these screenshots. So I think this might be the new layer. It's kind of hard to tell right now, but there's something in the top left-handed corner which looks like a special location, and a new icon that I see in the left here, which might have something to do with wonder. or it might have something to do with passing up and down through the Umbral gates, because I think the Umbral gates are how you get to this new layer. Yeah, there's like icon here that matches that one. I think that would take you to not the Umbral layer, but rather like the normal layer from the Umbral layer. I think, yeah, in the top right hand corner you can kind of see like a burn down button, an icon that matches that, and then something to the left of that. So I'm not quite sure what to make of that just yet. This is just showing off some of the different leader types you can make. They look really cool. They look really fun, and I can't wait to see what players come up with once they have the tools in front of them. But yeah, this one isn't very illithid looking, but the one they designed in the actual stream is pretty illithid. A lot of them like have these wings, but not all of them are feathered. Some of them have like eyeballs, and they look a little bit like more static. I think this is a pretty neat looking unit off here on the right. I'm really curious how that one's going to work, because it seems to have some kind of astral tint to it in the middle, but um, I don't know. It seems pretty demonic, pretty chaotic with those big long horns. Uh, but yeah, I'm sure we'll get to see that in one of the future streams pretty soon. There's this, I think, beetle over here, which might be a, yeah, I think those are beetle mounts here, which got mentioned in the stream. They didn't actually show off the exotic mounts, but they did mention that we are going to get not only just like a regular old, just like mount type, but something that actually is going to change the way your units work. You can spend 3 points on this special beetle, and while we don't know what that is, I'm really curious. I really enjoyed playing around with the raptor mounts. They're pretty interesting, pretty different than everything else. All right, so we've looked at that image, and in here they show off a little bit about the Cleansing Flame, which we didn't get to see in stream. This is a tier 3 tome that's going to have some kind of temple. I'm not able to read this. It's kind of poor quality, isn't it? I'm not sure why this one's quality is not coming through, but there's something that looks like a Pyre Templar, maybe, a fire unit that probably like removes other people's either buffs on themselves or debuffs on your allied units. It's probably something that does a little bit of both, but it's hard to know at this point. There's some kind of champion that you can, some spell I think that turns your guys into champions. Flare Storm. Yeah, we just don't really know enough at this point to speculate any more than this looks cool, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. Thinking that might be another polearm unit. They did talk a little bit about polearms at one point. I'm trying to remember when it came into play, but they did switch things around with some of the other cultures, like the spell shields now being mounted, and tier 3s are no longer mounted. And yeah, I feel like there was something else I saw over the past 2 hours that related to polearms, but I can't think of it right now. Oh, we didn't get to see this unit in the actual stream. That one looks pretty cool. It can abduct. Wait, it can pull units closer to it? Oh no, and these units are going to be really hard to fight. Yeah, the maladies that they were showing off that you get when you go into the umbral space seems pretty dangerous, pretty risky. So I'm not sure how quickly you can get over there and start dealing with these higher level units. I mean, just looking at the stats, it doesn't seem too terrifying. But I think when you combine that with other units that like heal themselves when they have debuffs on them, they're just going to be generally hard to deal with until you specifically try to counter them. Next, we get to see, I think, just this new like leader type. I think they call this one Sophons or something like that. Yeah, they have where's the other details? It's down below, isn't it? They've added not just uh, one form, but 2 forms. We have this one, Syron, and the insect form. So I think that when we were just looking at the top here was one of the not insect form, the one that begins with an S that I keep forgetting. I guess it's like a siren, like one of those people that call the people into the ocean, the singers that was in like Homer's Odyssey, right? We get to see this insectoid leader, so that's cool. It looks a lot like a Kirko to me. Yeah, I agree with people. We got Kirko back. Yay! Yay for Kirko. The best Planetfall faction out there. No, that's Syndicate Supreme. But yeah, we also got to see conjure Tentacle in the stream. This is something that they played around with. They took that tome and were able to unlock a lot of these things and show them off. They're pretty cool. I in particular am very interested to see how powerful the Constrictor is, because that reminds me again of the Age of Wonders Planetfall unit, an Age of Wonders Planetfall unit. This one reminds me of the assembly unit that could just lock people in place. It was the best summon, and I'm wondering if this is going to be one of the best units in the game when we get to Eldritch Realms, or if it's something that they've kind of nerfed to be not quite just all around amazing. I mean, just locking down a unit for a unit is a pretty good trade-off. Getting that off of a summon, I think, was the big selling point of that spell and that interaction. Next, we can move on to how we've got another Astral Shadow. Yeah, these two are Astral Shadow. This one is Order Chaos, so I think it's kind of like a way to deal with the people coming out of the Umbral space, or these like new evil leader types, which are kind of like mages that lost their mind. The like not mage banes, but the lost wizards. But you can play them now. They're not. They haven't completely lost their mind. They still have some ability to build an empire, I guess. So yeah, I don't believe they unlocked the Tome of Corruption. That's a tier 3. It usually takes them a while to unlock the tier 1s and tier 2s. So we may get to see this next week, or maybe in a dev diary or something like that. It seems like this one is similar to the first tome, that it's going to be very focused on the new Umbral units and those new mechanics. There is a summon undead something rather. I think that's an undead. Man, the quality here is not great. I'm not sure why it's so poor. If I go to you, is it better here? Yeah, this is much better here. So this is how I should be looking at them. Oh, that's getting very loud all of a sudden. Where did that come from? Is that this? My apologies. I guess I'm navigating things in a weird way. So yeah, no, if we look here, we should be able to see more details on the text. Just gotta zoom in. No, it won't let me zoom in very easily. That's probably why it's not so great a quality, is it? Never mind then. We will just move on to how after this Tome of Corruption, they show off this realm. I think this is a new story realm, an Umbral Abyss. So yeah, you get to go into the Umbral Abyss. Sounds dangerous. Sounds kind of cool. But now let's jump down to about this combat. There's a new map layer, the Umbral Abyss. Doing it again, isn't it? Or it's playing the... there we go. Yeah, stop that. We got to see the charging unit and its interaction in the stream. There's a handful in here that I haven't seen yet, like the one with the beak. That one looked pretty cool. That's really interesting unit. The long legs on a on an avian is a fun little combination. Yeah, cycling through pretty quickly. I haven't read this. The Umbral Dwelling independent factions are kind of like Marauders. They're things you have to go clear out, and they're going to be things that you can deal with a little bit more easily if you take the Umbral Flesh minor transformation from the Umbral Dwellings. So I guess they mentioned something about not being able to build cities. You may be able to deal with the Umbral Dwellings and build like outposts that let you deal with them more easily. I'm not quite sure how that works because I don't think we actually got to see that in stream. The new ruler types, like we mentioned earlier, these guys are called Eldritch Sovereigns. Some of them look like Monoliths, and others are just yeah, like undead. I love the variety that they're giving us here. And then the weapon types, oh man, this is really easy to miss, but they've got a lot of the same weapons here. The default one is the brain, so I guess they just kind of changed everything else and left the brain the same. But you can get a D20 sitting in front of your guy. That's amazing. That's so cool. I love it. Love it so much. They have some new special interaction called Thrall spellcasting. That's going to be really fun to play around with. It's like a new resource, and it allows you to cast past your normal casting points as well as do some other things, I think, in your cities as well. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. You get to return to Athla in, I think, 2 story realms. They mentioned that realms aren't planets, so I guess you kind of go to like one part of the planet, that's one realm, and then a different part of the planet, that's a different realm. So it's possible that both of the story realms are on Atha. We don't really know at this point. I mentioned the forms earlier. We get 2 new mounts. I did mention that earlier, the Beetle Mount, and then we get the exotic Death Beetle. Wait, does that mean when it dies, it does something? Probably. Oh, probably. Can't wait to see what that actually is. That's probably something they'll show off next week. Um, Cosmic's Happening Event System. This is new. I haven't read this yet. You're going to get global events designed to bring exciting and unpredictable effects. I do remember something in Planetfall like this happening every 10 or so turns that could make it so that your units would either have more health if there was a certain unit type, or everybody would take damage over time, or it would cost more to produce units. Things like that that would really influence the flow of a game was pretty fun, pretty interesting, and I do miss it. That's great that we're getting that. They're going to be calling them Cosmic Happenings in Age of Wonders 4. Ooh, what's this? Is this that unit that I was talking about earlier? It looks a lot like it. Its legs don't seem as long, and I don't think we get to see what it's called. There are going to be 4 mini crisis events, Toll of Seasons. Ooh. Um, one of them, or each of them, is a different season. Okay, so you can have like a winter toll or like a summer toll, and they're going to have unique tactical maps, units, and mechanics. So these guys are probably have to do with which season you're dealing with. It'll probably be like a winter like undead stag and like a summer undead stag. Oh, that's really cool. That's really neat. Um, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, they're gonna have these tomes. They tell us a little bit about them, and they actually show off the Gloom Strider uh, transformation, which I can't believe I almost missed this. It gives you tentacles. You could give all of your guys tentacles, just like you could give them all the snake body with the transformation. The I think it was Naga transformation. This is amazing. This is so beautiful. There's pre-made rulers, new realm templates, a new interface skin. Just if you want to make things look gloomy, you can. I always forget to turn that stuff on, and some new tracks. I will be covering the screenshots that I took next week on Tuesday. So if you want to see that stuff, keep an eye out for it. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over here. Let's see if they've posted a dev diary. Yeah, they do. All right, so we'll just quickly look at this, see if there's anything different. It's gonna load slowly, of course. Clicked it, I promise. Not sure why the internet is taking so long on this. There he goes. All right, so Dear Gadir, they're telling us about key art, feature highlight. Look at the stream. So they tell us about the trailer here, the layers, yes, the tomes, the event system, the forums, so much more. We can watch the stream here. And this is the dev diary here. So they're telling us a little bit more about the Umbral Abyss itself. That's a great image. I love it. You must be at least halfling size to enter. Keep arms, legs, and appendages within the Umbral Gates at all times. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see how this works, because I think it's going to be a lot like the Underground, which I'm not a great fan of. I'm not sure if there's a way to turn it off, but I'm a little bit worried about it just being in all of my maps. Exists both beyond the Astral Sea and the Void, and is seeking to manifest and corrupt realms. Well, that's confusing. How many other realms are there, or uh, planes of existence outside of where our guys are from? um, it's very similar to the Shadow Realm in Shadow Magic, and it's designed to be an evolution of the Shadow Realm, yet unfamiliar. There's risks. It feels like going into a dungeon crawl, and it's going to provide you with a new way to traverse the world map like Shadow Realms did in Shadow Magic. And lastly, I wanted to make a creeping threat and corruption that probably provides some late game challenges and things for you to do. So that's interesting. I wonder if it's going to be a bit like teleporters that in Planetfall, in that it'll help you save movement if you travel through it. I could see that being kind of cool, but also kind of annoying, because I really disliked how teleporters could allow you to be in so many different places at once. Um, there's an optional world map layer enabled. Yes. All right. So it's optional. Good. I'm very happy to hear that. Handcrafted islands floating in the void. These islands randomly placed each time, so you'll find new ones in each playthrough. Each island is filled with wonders, locations, and treasures. Yeah, it sounds perilous. Gloom, corruption. The realm of the Abyss. Many portals are spread across the map layer. These portals are called Umbral Gates. Yeah, I think I saw them. They got this little icon down here, the little purple icon that you can click, just like an underground passage. Can form many shortcuts, bridging large distance. Uh, they're designed to be, with that in mind, creating small transport hubs with many umbral gates close to another. Yeah, so it is going to like save you travel time. In fact, it kind of reminds me of like the Nether in Minecraft, because you could travel, I think, like 8 squares for every one in that. So it saves you some time, and it makes sense that you would take that risky move to go through the umbral to save the time if your enemy is elsewhere, and otherwise you wouldn't have enough time to take advantage of it. So this does take time. The vision is limited. Right, that's important. It's got all these guys down here losing health, but they don't die from that. I think they mentioned that in earlier iterations you could have your units die from the just passive health loss that they get while being in the abyss. Yeah, they get this umbral malady. Shadow sickness was in shadow magic, and that's represented by growing mad and casualties plaguing your troops as they go through the terrain. It also lowers city stability in any city with gloom terrain in their domain as population finds their minds filled. Wait, is this? It seems like this is in the umbral space. I thought they said you couldn't make cities down here. I'm confused now. It's maybe they were saying that it's like a city but different. Oh, that's cool. The little notation here saying it takes down this much red. I hadn't seen that in the UI up until this point. It's home to Umbral nests, spawners, and Umbral dwellings, which I can't wait to know more because the dwellings are so cool. And in Age of Wonders Planetfall, I love dealing with them as a nice guy. I bet you can be nice to the Umbral people and get some pretty good benefits out of it. I hope that that's a viable way to actually play. If you ignore it too long, the gloom will affect your armies. Yeah, I guess they come out of the umbral gates, right? And then they affect your cities. Um, you can ward it off with, I think, beacons of light and sanctuary outposts. Yeah, so this must have been what Avox was mentioning earlier, how you can build sanctuary outposts. The normal ones, you cannot build regular outposts. Instead, you need to build this, and for that you'll have to have found a beacon of light. So I think once you have a beacon of light, you can probably only build one of these, right? Beacons of light are special locations. They also appear when destroying the nests. Oh, so destroying nests will give you them. Only on these locations can you build sanctuary outposts. I see it now. Okay, so this was something that was in the screenshot that I looked at earlier. This is a sanctuary that must have been cleared and claimed. Oh, that's a really neat UI. I like that. Uh, they cannot be converted to cities. Who would want to do that? Yeah, yeah. You cannot build watchtower or camps. Instead, they themselves already grant a plethora of resources. Yeah, I see that. That's 10 gold, 10 mana, 10 research. And I don't think they have a cost. They don't cost gold. Oh, I like that a lot. All right, all right. They allow you to annex up to 2 provinces, so it is kind of like having a work camp, but you don't have to build the work camp or get the empire thing that allows you to get that easily. Finally, there's a sure way to grant your units immunity. Yeah, that's the transformation that I think, like the units that aren't Umbral or whatever we're calling them, the ones that spawn down here, like the support that was in the stream, they come with a transformation that allows them to live underground. I think if I go down to the very bottom of this, there was a screenshot I took of this unit. Yeah, he is Umbral Flesh, which I think must be the Corruption tome, like one of the things you get in the third tome that they mentioned. There was the Corruption, the Tentacles, and then Cleansing something rather, Flames probably. You can get 2 nodes. One of them is a monolith node, which gives you 30 knowledge. That's massive. That's a lot of knowledge. This is triple what nodes normally grant on the surface. Yeah, you usually get 10 from just a node. So if you put like a conduit on it, or not conduit, a research center, then you get 15. So this is saying it's kind of like the 10, but 3 times more. And I think if you annex, then you could get like 5 more on top of that if it works like the normal outpost, which I'm not entirely sure if it does, based off of what they've shown us so far. There's some new pickups. Ooh, interesting. The Tome Fragment, which gives you a random spell. That's so good that you haven't researched or aren't currently researching. So it's just random. That could be really, really impactful or completely useless. If it gives you the scouting one, that's going to be so silly. um, you have to discover other two for yourself, but they give things like the research probably pretty good. If one gives me Imperium, I'll be pretty happy. Um, yeah, it just rewards you for going away and looking in the hidden nooks and crannies in the Umbral Abyss. Oh, there's a little picture of what it looks like. There's a Tome Fragment. There's Void Stones. Wait, they said they weren't going to tell us about that. This is the new magic material, the Void Stones, otherworldly objects that let you can communicate with Umbral Dwellings. Oh man, yeah, you can totally be nice to the meanies, can't you? And probably become evil in the process. I bet being nice is evil. Yes, I love that. There are unique as their own sets. So having 3 of them unlocks this bonus. You want to get 3 of them to get towards, oh, interesting, to get to Void Ink, giving you the Eldritch Pact, which grants plus 30 knowledge when you are nice to an Umbral Dwelling, and you get just a little bit of knowledge for each of your vassals. That doesn't seem too impactful, to be honest, but okay. The boost in knowledge is probably one of the main selling points to getting these guys. And I guess getting extra allegiance on the Umbral Dwellings is probably pretty powerful, especially if it lets you, like, I don't know, get Lost Wizards or some of these other higher tier Umbral units. Probably the Umbral units will be better or on par with like the Mage Bane and the Lost Wizard. They seem similar in theme and design. Back in the older Age of Wonders games, visit sites allowed armies to gain temporary buffs for future battles. Oh, we wanted to create more of them for a while in Age of Wonders 4. The Umbral Abyss is the first place where you can find some interesting. You can get combat and world map bonuses. Soothing Shrine is an example. The Relic Light allows you to heal for 50% and granting Faithful and Zeal for 5 turns. Okay, so that reduces your upkeep, meaning you'll have more gold, but it also allows you to interact with things that like benefit from Zeal and Faithful. Wow, okay, pretty good. But that's not say exotics or are not enough. You can coexist with Gloom and Umbral, except Urrath as your true master. I think he's evil, right? I saw something about Urrath in my research when, before the stream today. As an avid evil player myself, consider this. I have to say that you can take this path. The first step down this path is to meet the Umbral Dwelling. Yeah, we did it. That's what it looks like. Wow, that's pretty cool. That looks so menacing. Like it's on fire or something too, or just glowing from chaotic energies. Uh, This is like Age of Wonders 3 and Planet of False Dwellings, something similar to a free city, so it's an independent faction that you can wage war with or enter into diplomacy. Okay, Umbral, they're the first dwelling in Age of Wonders 4. Yeah, that seems to indicate that they want to do more. That's awesome. I can't wait to see what the future DLCs will bring. Can only be found in the Abyss. Problematic. You can raise a lance with them. They are not swayed by trinkets like Whispering Stones and Sweetened Words. These are the choices you can take. You can just go to war with them, or you can make a donation of wealth, power, or flesh. This actually reminds me of Stellaris. Like I think you could deal with the Marauders in a similar fashion. You could give them little donations and then get some pretty nice benefits if you're willing to. Involve sacrifices. Yeah, they make demands. I hope they don't take my units. You can freely offer other sacrifices through boosting relations. Okay. You can give resources. They might want something else. They will demand you declare war on one of your allies or vassals. No! I could ever. You can't make me. Well, I guess they can. If I want their nice stuff, I will. Each sacrifice gives you a relationship bonus. Denying them will make that go down. Makes sense. Masters of the Umbral Dwellings are fickle. You may not always be able to satisfy them. Do not worry. The next demand. There's always the next demand. Yeah, that's fine. That seems normal. Eldritch Hunger. Yeah, if you don't wait. Yeah, this declares. I thought it's like give me a spear unit. I was like, no. All right, so this is saying that they may make you either give up a pop or go to war with a free city. Probably isn't the worst if you have the resources to go to war with a free city. Upon reaching the final diplomatic state, an Eldritch Pact, you'll gain the ability to coordinate. Oh man, just sending their armies out into somebody else's nation seems awesome. Forbidden knowledge. like this stuff becomes available to you. You can summon an Umbral Juggernaut for 150. Oh man, 150 Imperium, or you can get the Umbral Flesh from them. Maybe it isn't something you get through Corruption. I guess it could be something you can get through multiple paths, right? Is that pretty much it? There's so much here. Yeah, we're pretty close to the end. There is a little bit more mentioned here about the skills you get. Spread it to yourself. Yeah, the Umbral Flesh I mentioned earlier. Doesn't strike your fancy. You can just destroy these things. And when you do that, it's not easy. They must be besieged. And they spawn in things probably while they're being besieged. Destroying one will give you a hefty sum of Imperium, a beacon of light, good alignment, and its domain will vanish. Okay, seems pretty good. Oh wait, so this be a reliable way you can get good alignment. I might be able to get to pure good now. That's all the stuff they found in the Umbral Abyss. And it's not even everything. Yeah, there's other stuff outside of the Abyss that they haven't told us about. You be crusading with light, using Warlocks of Darkness. It's up to you, right? It's going to be coming in June 18th. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything I had for you in this video. I'll see you around. Have a good one.